This is the Titleist Performance Institute, and it's where some of the very best golfers in the world come to test out clubs and reach the pinnacle of their game. And today, I'm here and we're doing a full bag fitting. So from driver all the way through to putter, and even what ball that I'm going to be using in the 2025 season. We're going to be using the very best minds that Titleist has to offer to get me the best clubs for me and my game. It's going to be quite a challenge for them, I think, today, but I cannot wait to see what I end up with. And just look at this facility, right? TPI in California. It's going to be amazing. Now, the Titleist Performance Institute is a bastion, a well-known, highly regarded performance institute for the very best professional golfers in the world. These are here very much just for us. And I'm not going to have one. I'm having this one instead. What's this, a coffee? Kickstarter. Kickstarter.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Okay, it is 8:30 in the morning. I've just had half a donut, done my warm up and had a beautiful shake. We're going to be going until about 5 o'clock tonight when it goes dark. And like I said, I'm going to be getting fit for every section in the bag. I think we might start off with Scotty Cameron putters at a top secret location. Okay, first stop of the day is for my new Scotty Cameron putter, and we're here at the Scotty Cameron putter studio. Now, behind these doors is where the top secret research and development goes on between Scotty, between Paul Vazanko and the tour players to come up with the new models and the putters that you might only see on tour. Now, because it's top secret, we can't take the cameras in, but I'm gonna go get my fitting and we'll see what I come out with. Okay, so here with JJ, I'm gonna start off with fitting the golf ball.
So before we start, even on the golf ball side, is we want to talk about what and how is it going to make you better.
Okay.
And so from a golf ball standpoint, feel. Do you like a softer feel? Do you like a little firmer feel?
So I like a softer feel,
okay.
But I probably prefer the height that I've been getting this year. So it just depends. If we can get that combination of like a bit of a softer feel and still get a little bit of height, then that'll be...
So just a little more stopping power?
Yeah.
Okay.
Around the green, I do like the feel of a softer ball, and I do miss an exceptionally large amount of greens. So
well, let's try to solve that today, too.
Okay.
We love to start from the green and work back.
Okay.
So by the time we get to your woods, we're going to have solved your golf ball decision and then fit your woods to the ball that's going to be the best around the greens, then best into the greens for you.
Okay.
And then go from there. So talk to me a little bit about your game. Where's your strong points? Where are areas that you can get a little bit better?
So my game over the past 12 months has actually improved if you look at comp scores. Well, apart from the comps that really mattered. But anyway, I've managed to take my game from hitting squeezy cuts everywhere to having a little bit more of a neutral flight. So straighter, and also, if I want to, hitting a little bit of a draw. Driving has been a real bonus, and my chipping overall throughout the year has been pretty good. So I want to maintain the distance and also the soft feel around the greens.
What we kind of find with players is you have a window that you become used to.
Yeah.
So for you, we're finding it's about 95 feet.
Yeah.
That's kind of your spot.
Yeah, lovely.
So when we work through the bag, that's gonna be kind of a number we're gonna lean back into. Like that last one probably felt a fraction high.
Yeah, a little bit, but I could happily live.
That's 101.
Yeah.
That's 6 feet of difference.
Yeah, I could
but
happily live.
It has that little bit look, so I think this is gonna be the interesting thing golf ball wise. Even with the Pro V1, which is gonna be a little bit closer to your feel preference, we're creating lots of height.
Yeah.
So in terms of the extra spin that X is gonna give us, we're gonna keep working up, but I think there's gonna be opportunities to provide you with that feel and flight.
Yeah.
And control that spin with a Pro V1.
Yeah.
Versus having to go to that click with the X.
So during the testing, we wanted to cover every facet of my game and then figure out which ball was the best fit. And at the end of the day, the Pro V1 came out on top. Personally, it had the best feel, and in every single category, it hit the numbers that we wanted to see. And around the greens, I had that softness of touch, which I really wanted to keep.
Okay, on to irons. So we're starting with the 7-iron here, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna get some baseline numbers of where you've been, talk about how we can help.
Yeah, I must admit, irons have been they're the weakest part of my game. Obviously, that's not just equipment-wise, that's definitely me, but it's like the gapping, like the flight, everything's just been a bit off. Like when I look at my stats at the end of the year, my approach play is just not very good.
Let's talk about kind of what we're seeing. So right now, what we're seeing is really high spin.
Yeah.
And so what happens is, I think from a directional standpoint, is if you have to flight it or there is any wind with your spin so high, now you're having to manipulate the flight a lot and you can't hit a stock shot. So that's why we carry so many head options.
Okay.
So the thing to think about here is, think about these a little bit how we think about woods. So you're a really good player, so we should probably play blades, right?
Well, yeah, maybe.
So, you know, when you look at our most played iron on tour, it's not this one. And the good part here is when we look at tour players, 80% of our tour players play more than one of these models. So just because we choose it for a 7-iron doesn't mean it's what we're gonna choose for a 4-iron. So what we're looking for here is each club to be fit individually rather than, hey, this is what I'm just gonna order 4 through P.
Okay. So you're not gonna give me any of the 0 offset JT irons then?
We can definitely get a couple of those milled up for you.
I saw some laying around yesterday.
Oh, did you go through a 31 yesterday?
Yeah.
Nice. So we're gonna start with T100, your same shaft, DG120.
Okay. And
just get some numbers, some looks, some feedback here. Right out of the gates, any commentary?
I'm gonna withhold judgment.
When we're looking at irons, we're really trying to do what we talk about at Titleist is the 3 Ds. Number 1's gonna be distance, and it's not how far we can make you hit a 7-iron, it's that we can make it go a consistent distance.
Sounds great to me.
2 is direction. That's gonna be a big one for us with you, is control left, right.
Yeah.
And then the finals, the descent angle, is making sure it's gonna stop.
Well,
it's got one of the
tell you
Ds.
what, JJ, that ain't gonna stop. Yeah, one of the Ds.
With the irons, we were very keen to make sure that my peak height stayed consistent, about 95 to 100 feet. If we could keep it within that window, it would allow me to control the descent angle. So that's the angle on which the ball would approach the greens. And we settled on the Dynamic Gold X100. Now, this is a shaft that I played before and one with which I am comfortable. It also happens to be the most played shaft on the PGA Tour.
Oh, the memories.
And we found this shaft to give the best combination of the 3 Ds that JJ spoke about.
So even miss, so one of our Ds direction, slightly compromised there, right? But we haven't compromised the descent angle. We're still landing at 48, and that carried 181.
We then went on to test 4 of the Titleist heads to find out which one would be the best combination.
Now, next question is, as we move up the bag, what's our confident level when we get to something like a 4-iron?
Yeah, pretty good actually.
Feeling pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel all right with long irons, not too bad.
Okay. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, I should have said that, should I really? Oh, so on top of that.
So that's gonna be kind of your gapping issue, is kind of the speed variance.
Yeah.
You know, again, if we're looking at kind of that 131, 132, we're moving into that 5-iron at 42, is even on that strike at 45, we really want to push that up to closer to 147 ball speed.
Okay. When
you look at our lineup, we have a lot of options in this realm. As we move to more of a hollow construction in T200, T350, and U505, is it gets us ball speed. And so what we want to look at is, do we need height or we need ball speed? And in your case, we really need ball speed, and we needed just a little bit of a help there. So we were hitting T150, flight was close, we were having the direction, we were having the distance, we got our nice ball speed gap. We're just looking to raise the height a little bit.
Okay.
And so what we're looking at here is the T200. We get a little width in the sole, we move the tungsten a little bit lower, and having a hollow construction, it's going to allow us to improve the launch angle a little.
Okay, so probably thinking this just in the 4.
Right now, this would be just in the 4 if this works out for us.
Yeah.
So will that stop on a green?
I hope so.
So again, this is where we're taking advantage of your speed.
Yeah.
Is if we can push you down the fairway a little bit. And now when you look at a par 5 to have that type of trajectory.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was a 49-degree land angle.
Okay.
But that's now a comfortable 217.
Yeah. Okay.
Where you don't have to feel like you have to do more here.
Tell you what.
For a miss?
The club saved me on that one.
And that's where I think you're gapping at the top.
Yeah.
By moving just your last iron before we transition to your longer clubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we have a situation where long par 3s, par 5s, you can start taking advantage and not feeling like you have to play around. So here we're gonna be able to do the T150, pitching wedge to the 5-iron, and then make that transition to a T200, just to give you a little help in that ball speed gap on that last iron as we move into your woods. Now we want to look at what are some trajectories we need for different golf courses as we transition. Where are we going to go? Should we use an iron? Should we use a hybrid? Should we use a lofted fairway wood?
Cool. All right.
Peter,
Absolute
welcome.
Pleasure to meet you, mate. I hear you're the wedge master.
That's a stretch, but I'm going to try. We're going to do some good work today.
Okay, so I'm going to be going through wedges now. Basically, I need to get my gapping right because it's trash. I need to get something around the greens that I feel comfortable, confident with, because I do miss a lot of greens. So my lob wedge is probably my most used club, I think. So as long as I can fall in love with that, we're on to a winner.
Okay, so we're going to start with some gap fitting. That's going to determine whether or not you're in the right lofts. Then we're going to start to figure out, are you in the right sand wedge grind? Are you getting the benefits around the greens you want as well as what you need from the tee? And then that lob wedge is going to be all about finding the perfect tool that gets you out of the bunkers, around the chipping areas, and kind of relieving some of that stress and pressure you feel. That's the hard part about the short game.
I do feel a lot of stress and pressure, man.
Yeah,
I do.
We're going to make that go away
generally
today.
in life.
So me and Aaron went straight away into the distance gapping and the flight. Again, I wanted to maintain that key peak height, but also I want to make sure that I could control the trajectory if I wanted to. With wedges, you need that balance. You don't just want to hit everything as high as you possibly can.
Great strike. Man, that sounded good. So everything's good here. We're adding a little bit more bounce, and that's just going to help everything as things get softer, you're not feeling right, so more importantly, that flight.
Yeah.
Okay? So a couple things we want to cover. Sand wedge and lob wedge, those are both really important tools around the screen.
Yeah.
The sand wedge, not so much, only because you don't use it that much. But I want to encourage you to do so by finding the right bottom, the right bounce, to make you understand that it's not just the fairway club. It can be used in the sand. That's what we call the sand wedge. But also, if you open up the face, it produces a more consistent result, even at this distance, than a lob wedge will. We'll start right up front. Let's go to this red flag. Just hit your standard shot, whatever that looks like.
Okay.
When you miss, do you miss heavy, thin, or both?
If I'm hitting it poorly, it's heavy. But I'm still want to be hitting down, but I'm trying so much harder to like pivot and actually not like dig it in.
Okay.
So that's my biggest issue.
How would you rate that?
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
Pretty decent?
That was pretty nice.
And moving on.
More turf.
Did you get that? Remember, turf. We want to make that
turf.
bounce work.
Yes, we do.
Put that soul grind to work. All right, one more. Go a little further right. See if we can't hold one of these.
Okay.
You got this.
God, one shot. I think your expectation was a little bit too high, but I respect it.
I believe in you. Stay. Stay. Stay.
I only need,
That's it.
I only need 2 go.
That's it. We're done.
Aaron, why are you getting so excited? I do this every day.
That was so good.
Easy, eh? I didn't realise it was that easy. Yeah, amazing. It's not difficult, is it? We can cut out the ones where I was decapitating.
It's actually very difficult. Some really interesting stuff came from today's session.
Yeah.
Right? We learned about your course conditions, we learned about your swing type, we learned about some things you're not comfortable with. And the nice thing is we identified 2 wedges that we can change.
Okay.
I think your distances and your gapping is really good.
Okay.
You're still at that 13 yards. Your launch windows need a little bit of help on the sand and lob wedge.
Yep.
And that's just as simple as finding the right bottom, right? You're currently in a 10S. We need you in a 14F. That's going to make sure that strikes down low at grooves 2 through 5, getting that flight window down, getting the spin up and the carry right. Takes less effort from you to get what you're supposed to get.
Perfect.
And then around the greens, going from 8M to more of a specialized bottom that's going to help you from the fairway and also around the green. So you get the best of both worlds. Because currently, the flighting on the 60 is a little higher than we want.
Yeah.
Whereas the V-grind is going to get that ball flight down with that steeper front leading edge. 4 or 5 degrees steeper than your gamer is. And that just makes sure you hit it lower. You're through, you're below that 30-degree launch window, but your strike is where it needs to be, which is low on the face.
Okay, nice. Okay, lovely. Thank you. Wonderful. Easy, yeah?
Easy. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you for bearing witness to some holdout shots as well.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, two in one little session. It was good for me, that. Okay, we are back in the drawer and we are about to assemble an absolute armoury of fairway woods, driving irons and everything.
So the big thing here is, we want tools.
Yes.
So tools are going to have a purpose, whether it's high lofted fairway woods, hybrids, and then we have utility irons. We have all these options to create different ball flights for different players and different setups. So the easiest way to think about this for everybody is the wider we go, the higher we go.
Okay.
So at a T200 with an iron sole, we're going to be in the narrowest in this window, but we still have a lot of ball speed, great flight. And then in a 505 for that player that maybe should be in a hybrid but really likes irons, we have a really wide soled iron. Move to GT3, we're now moving up in width. We now have adjustability for CG heel toe and hosel adjustability, then GT2, then GT1. Then we look at things like a GT318 or GT2, and all these are just going to keep moving that height up for the right player. So it's finding that gap. When we talked about the 3Ds in iron fitting, this is that same boat. Are you a player that's going to have par 5s or long par 3s that you're going to need to descent?
Yeah.
Or are you a player that says, hey, I'm going to need something more off the tee that's landing a little shallower?
Okay.
So managing the peak height and the descent angle for the right setup is what we want to do.
Okay. I think probably the most important thing for me is really just options. I'm going to be playing obviously a lot of links courses, so having a driving iron off the tee would be pretty essential. I've used a 3 hybrid last year, which was brilliant. It was like my helper. Whenever I was in trouble, I kind of went to that. I was interchanging that a little bit with the 5 wood. Did a pretty similar job. 5 wood just went a little bit higher, and then the biggest problem I had last year was a 3 wood. Every 3 wood I had it just went too far, like when I was striking it well. So it was kind of like a secondary option off the tee. But realistically, I'm going into a par 5, and if it was even like 260, 270 when I'm a bit like, really, do I actually want to hit a 3 wood into it? Because it might go too far. So just trying to figure out that gapping and figure out what these different clubs can give me.
Great. Well, let's do this kind of a little bit backwards then. Let's do the 3 wood.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of we know kind of where the 4 iron is going.
Yep.
Let's find the 3 wood, and then we'll find a couple options right in the middle of them.
Love that.
Just for fun, we'll start you with a GT3 15 and see what kind of feedback you have from shape, what kind of launch and spin we get.
Amazing. I mean, the one advantage that we do have with fitting a Titleist 3 wood is they're just not changed, like realistically, a little bit over the years, but kind of similar with a driver. You stick a Titleist driver down and the shape is there straight away.
I will say I did do some research on an NV75 bend profile. So we actually dusted off some books and found some profiles of the NV75 that are in more of a current model.
Again, last year really struggling with fairway woods. Did a golf bit of challenge and this kind of came out. I-15, what's this, like 20 odd years old maybe now? But this shaft, if you're of a certain age and you're a golfer, you'll recognise this shaft because it infected the world of golf like the bubonic plague ripped through medieval Europe. It was absolutely everywhere. And you dusted off the books to see what it would be like.
So we have some ideas for you.
With the top end of my bag, the most important thing for me is to have some options. So I want a 3-wood which I can hit off the fairway, but also utilize off the tee. I want a hybrid, oh, I do love hybrids, which is going to allow me to have a safety club off the tee, and again, also hit it from varying lies around the golf course, which I'm undoubtedly going to find.
That felt great. I just love hybrids. Well, hybrid's just like the best thing.
And lastly, I want a good driving iron. The fact is, I play a lot of golf courses which are dominated by the wind. So I'm going to need a club with which I can hit a piercing flight and hit some dirty little stingers.
So now we have the proper flat, runny, chasey. We're willing to give up carry for total.
Oh, that was sweet.
Yeah, really nice
That was
there.
really good. So we have a combination we've got on top of this bag. 2-iron, so this is for links courses, keeping it low off the tee, having something which I can play really nicely in the wind. We've got the GT3 hybrid, which isn't as kind of deep as the current hybrid I've been using, but flight-wise really good, great off the deck. And then I've got a GT2 3-wood. Now this sits a little bit shallower down behind the ball, help me get into the par 5s, and is decent off the tee as well. So probably those all won't be in the bag at the same time, but it means I can interchange depending on the course. There is also something else which I'm going to be putting in the bag, but we can't talk about that till April. That was intense, but we have got the putter, the wand, the absolute difference maker for my 2025 season is the Scotty Cameron studio style fastback. And just absolutely look at how shiny and how wonderful this is. So I was in there with Paul for, well, I was very northern for a second. I was in there with Paul for about an hour and a half, trying loads of different models, going through my putting stroke, trying to figure out what's been going wrong. And this is the one that I got fitted into. So I've got a custom shop grip. This is an absolute beauty. Feels fantastic in the hands. 34 inches in the shaft. Now you can see with the head design here, I've got this little gap in the club head to help with alignment as well. It just looks absolutely super and feels fantastic. I've also had a putting lesson, like I said, with Paul. So hopefully I won't lose it, but if I do, got my initials on it. It's my precious. Oh, the head cover as well. God, I forgot about this. Bit upstairs as well to have a look at all the head covers. They look absolutely unreal. Like the library upstairs. It's sick. That's the commitment for this year as well. I'm going to stick with this putter and just work my little bottom off to make sure I get better on the greens. Okay, let's get back to TPI and continue to fill the bag.
Okay, here's the one you've all been waiting for. Last year's driver, the Ping G430 10K Max versus my Titleist replacement. Now, I am absolutely certain that we are going to be able to find a driver that goes further than the Ping. The Ping from last year was set up for forgiveness and finding fairways. What I want to get from today is a driver which is forgiving enough, but also will pump the ball down there a greater distance. I do not struggle with swing speed. That is something which is a real bonus and a real weapon which I can utilize. But I also want that power to be heading in the right direction.
We can actually fit between head type, CG, and loft and lie to fit forgiveness for you.
Amazing. Sounds good to me, mate.
So when we look at strokes gain, we always want to look at those parameters. What I want to do is we can't give you anything that has a big miss, but if I can push you up the fairway 10, 15 yards longer, which based on our launch conditions is very reasonable, from a strokes gain standpoint, that's going to help a lot. And then we're going to fit a direction for you that's going to feel really forgiving.
Okay. Love it.
So we're going to start with a GT2. This is going to be kind of a combination of some forgiveness and speed.
Yeah, everyone just heard JJ say, I should be 15 yards further down the fairway. It wasn't just me. Did you hear that as well?
Any guess on ball speed?
I'm going to say 173.
179.8.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that last one went 330 total. The swing before it went 304.
I don't want to get you too excited, JJ, but I didn't strike that great.
So we're going to come back to this one, but I do want to show you GT3.
Yeah. As far as looks, I'm not too picky. I mean, we used that ping last year. Look at it.
We want you to be very picky.
I can't really afford to be picky, to be honest, JJ. I'll get whatever I can get.
You can be as picky as you want.
Okay, I like it.
I can draw smiley faces on it, whatever you need. So we're going to go to GT3 next.
Okay.
So we're done.
That one's done, yeah?
Easy days.
Easy as that. So what was club speed there?
Club was 121.9, ball was 181.2. I have a few tour players that don't let me round up. Really nice there. Absolutely blistered.
Yeah.
181, 13 launch, 2,500 on the spin. So this is a little bit what that heel does for you.
Yeah.
Is the path went 4 right.
I hit that awful as well.
4 right,
was
way
so
toe, just not happy at all in the middle of the fairway.
That's probably the one, I'm going to be honest, mate, that's probably the one I'm the most pleased with so far. Because that was shocking.
307 carry, 331 total. We're back to that 36 to 38 land.
Yeah.
All those things working really, really nice. That was one of our fastest ball speeds. This one we're going to try a little double experiment. Here we're stiffening the part a little bit. We're going to stiffen the tip section. We actually gave you some weight.
Okay.
So just bringing up the total weight of the golf club. Some people that hurts, some people it really helps them feel where the plane is. Mm-hmm. We're getting a little bit more inconsistent in left right with the driver than we were with your long irons.
Yeah.
So DG 120, you know, still on the heavier side of the part. So just see if this helps us plane some things out.
Okay.
So there's the heel CG coming into play. That's 2 dimples heel, and we're down the right center. We're not in the right trees.
Yeah.
So this is where that fit is getting you straight. 336 total. And at your speed, to just say, I'm gonna live in the 170s plus be spinny and not take advantage of that extra speed is costing you strokes.
Okay, there you go. Tell me.
So what we're liking for you is these shafts are a little bit different balance point, and so we're just managing the weight to manage your swing weight. So you have a +2 weight, which is 2 grams heavier than our standard head. We're putting it in the H1 setting. That's just providing us that little protection on your heel miss, allowing you to hit kind of your preferred draw. The great part about for you fitting into the GT3 head, if you start working in the summer and going, I'm back to my fade, we can move this easily back to neutral and just give you a neutral setup. We're in a 9 degree, we're at D1, so it's a standard lie, but we're taking a little loft off it.
Okay.
Tried the 8 degree head. It was okay, but the 9 degree head with a little loft taken off has given us the best consistency. You can play golf from there.
Yeah, cool. Lovely.
So whether you want to film it or not, I make all my players do this. This isn't, hey, this worked, this shouldn't work.
Just in cases.
I just want you to feel the difference of what we were trying to do here. And this is what we're kind of meaning for fit to straight.
Yeah.
Is you now have that softer shaft, you have that, think about that head is resistant twisting. So it wants to go this way.
Yeah. Okay,
You have to make it go over.
Never really thought about it, to be honest, that way. I mean, you can feel the difference, see the difference straight away there in flight as well.
So this is where I'll tell Jacqueline you hit your driver 297, and the driver we fit you into, you hit 338.
Okay. Is that okay though?
I mean,
Is that fine?
if you don't want 40 yards, we can find a shorter one.
Is that all right?
By getting some shaft weight, getting ahead with a CG location that allows you to control the face to path, it helps you neutralize everything and pick up significant distance and ball speed.
Amazing. Awesome. That was remarkably easy.
It's normally not too hard. I think really, I mean, to be truthful, very impressive. I think this is one, just feeling that weight is just going to allow you to feel like,
Yeah.
now when you walk your 330 yards, your walk will take a little longer, so you have a little more time between shots, but feeling like you're feeling like your next iron shot is in a completely different swing.
Yeah. Amazing. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we are done. 2 hours after literally getting a full bag of clubs fitted, they are all ready to go. From driver down to long wedge with my super special putter, even a new bag and the golf balls, which are absolutely stocking it full. I just want to say a massive thank you once more for watching the channel. It's only through your support, through your subscriptions, through liking the videos and engaging with what we do that we can come to places like this. And of course, a massive thank you to Titleist for partnering with the channel, for believing in what we're doing, the content that we're going to make together. I'm confident it's going to be the best that we've ever done, and that's great for us and it's great for you guys watching. So thank you so much, Titleist. This is an incredible start to this journey, and our first round is literally tomorrow. Biggest thank you goes to this lady right here. Jacqueline has been incredible over the last few days. I mean, we've got so much done. My head is absolutely reeling. It's insane. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's been amazing. Thank you.
My pleasure.